my background starts kind of not really similar to anybody else's. I was born and raised in the city of Sin, Las Vegas, Nevada. Grew up on the streets of a predominantly Hispanic neighborhood. So there was two white families in my neighborhood out of probably, I would say, 10 city blocks total. And it was predominantly Hispanic. This is where I grew up. Lots of fights. Eventually at the end of it, I ended up becoming friends with a lot of the gang members there. I never became a gang member, but I dressed like a Hispanic gang member when I was, 14 years old. Either way, kind of just grew up into that kind of limbo thing. Wasn't really raised by my parents for the most part. My dad and mom were divorced when I was 2 years old. And so it was typically the people in the neighborhood and other people's families. I'd come home, cops be there, whatever. I wouldn't even go home. So I just go to my friend's house. So it's just kind of the way it was. And I fended for myself. So I was out of the house at 15 and a half. I had my own apartment. Was it legal money? Absolutely not. It was just me hustling on the streets of Las Vegas, doing what I had to do, but I had an apartment. I had my own car at 15 and a half years old. I had a permit and all these different crazy things were going on for me. And I was doing it all myself. So either way, things, started to become a struggle as a kid. Influences started coming into my life. I started getting more into the deeper drugs, I guess you could say. Around 17, 18 years old, I started picking up alcohol and I started leaving behind, the weed for the most part and a little bit of meth that I was doing before when I was younger. And so 17 years old, I started picking up alcohol. My life really, really, really started going downhill then. And I was like, I got to straighten myself up. So at 18 years old, I went to the Utah College of Massage Therapy. My mom lives in Utah, kind of connected back with her. And that's another story. That's another show in that whole situation. But either way, ended up going to Utah and I had to figure something out. I was tired of drinking. I was tired of living a reckless life at 17, almost 18 years old now. I decided to go to the Utah College of Massage Therapy to the year program. And basically from there, man, my life kind of went up and then it went down and up and down. So after a year of massage school, I ended up getting job placement in Sedona, Arizona at the Boulders. It's a nice resort out there. Made a pretty good loot of money, but I was working 12-hour shifts, 12 massages a day, man. I'm telling you, I don't care how tough you are. It's a beating on you, especially if you don't know how to move your body, right? Anyways, I started picking up alcohol again in Arizona. Got my first DUI at 20. At 20 years old, I got my first DUI. Went to Maricopa County, Tent City for I think it was maybe 4 weeks or something like that through court and trial, what else it was, right? Ended up getting a slap on the wrist, misdemeanor. But that same month at the end of it, got another DUI. And then it became whatever. So it was 2 in 1 month. It was too close together. So it became an automatic felony. And in Arizona, Joe Arpaio was the sheriff at the time. He was the meanest sheriff in the country. Anyways, you get 2 DUIs in a certain period of time. It's mandatory prison. I think it was mandatory 15 months or something like that if you got good time. So I went to a DUI camp. And then from then on, I kind of get out for, I don't know, a year, 2 years, and I go back for another DUI. So total, I have 6 DUIs. I've been to prison 5 times for it. And my last DUI was in 2018. So I got out in 2019 or a little close to 2020. And, so I've been out a little over almost 5 years now and I'm on parole still. Built a 7-figure business on parole with all of the things going against me. And, can't get a job, can't do these things. I got a job 2 days after I got out. I started going back to construction because that's what I kind of knew. I didn't do massage my whole life, but kind of, I'm 44 now, I'll be 45 in March. So construction and a little bit of massage, mostly construction my entire life. That's all I knew. So I put down the hammer and I picked up a computer, scrolling TikTok, not TikTok. It was Facebook. I came home from work, took off my boots, sat in the recliner, and I was just scrolling aimlessly on social media, how we always do. And I came across an ad from a gentleman that had one of the biggest, probably affiliate marketing businesses at the time. And he was, he said basically make $10,000 easy, fast, quick, whatever. I needed the money. I didn't even want to make 10,000. I just wanted to make an extra $1,000 a month. And is there anything, should you interrupt me at any point and ask me or anything, or should I just rip it?
You're good. Just keep on going.
All right. And so anyways, I was sitting in my recliner, I was scrolling social media aimlessly, like we always do, right? Burning the serotonin and everything up that we get each day and we kind of need. But anyways, scrolling social media and came across that ad. It said make $10,000 easy, whatever, within a month. I can't remember what it was, 90 days, whatever, something stupid, right? Clicked on the link. I bought into a $7 15-day challenge. Went through the challenge. At the third day, they're asking me for $2,500 investment. I did not have that money. My wife didn't have that money, but I was still on this thing because I started, once you go down that rabbit hole, you start seeing what's possible, right? This dude made 20K. He's 20 years old. This guy made 40K his first month. Whatever it is, that's what you get wrapped around. Right? I started chasing that shiny object. So then I went down the rabbit hole of Google and YouTube for the next 6 months. I would have, probably 100 different creators or gurus on my YouTube channel that I'm following, and everyone had a different strategy, and everyone said they can help you make money. But every one of them led to a $2,500, $5,000, $10,000 and up investment. I didn't have it. So anyways, I came across this guy named Brad Schildkraut. He has now passed away. He's my very first mentor. He had passed away 2 years ago now on fentanyl. He was living the high life, making tons of money, 26 years old, and he made a bad choice and took his life. So anyways, that gentleman, I had correspondence with him kind of early on when I first started with this process. He's like, look, I'll mentor you, give me $1,000 down. And then whatever we kind of figure out at the end, if you start making money, then we'll kind of figure it out. And I was like, well, I don't even have the money. I'll do it myself kind of situation in my head. I could do it alone. Well, 6 months later, I'm like, I'm stuck. My wife was working at, the motel. It was the Caboose as a housekeeper. Been there like 10 years, making little over minimum wage. And she's like, you know what? I'll try to get a PayPal loan because my credit was shot. And anyway, I'll try to get a PayPal loan. She ended up getting a PayPal loan for $4,000. And Brad, I ended up getting in contact with him. He's like, look, dude, I moved on. I'm working with higher level people. My coaching program is minimum 5K now. Like I'm scaling up, and I begged him. So he said, look, I'll give me $3,500. I'll meet with you 4 times and you go in my 4-week cohort. And it's a big group of people. And so you don't really get your questions answered. Sometimes you do, but I got to meet with him 4 times. By the second call, I already made $10,000. By the 4th call, I already had $40,000 in my bank, close to $40,000 in my bank account. So I took that strategy and I ran with it. The company that I was working for before, it was the same kind of thing, make $10,000. So he had that company was making millions of dollars a month by people investing $2,500 over and over, thinking it's going to be easy money. Well, I started capitalizing on that, and I started targeting these individuals because if you make your very first high ticket sale, you got to go on the show with him, and the show is huge. Like there's over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and it's a big show. So if you get on there, you're going to get some recognition. People probably hit you up and say, hey, I want your coaching or whatever. Anyways, got on the show. And I was like, you know what? I could teach people how to get on this show within 3 weeks, guaranteed. If they just follow my step-by-step process, 100% guaranteed. They make their first high ticket sale. Well, I started this cohort. My mentor taught me helped me do it. After I got that money, I reinvested with him, obviously, because proof is in the pudding. And I created this cohort. I think it was like 20 people total in initially. And then by week 2, I had like 15. And then by week 3, I had 6 people scheduled to go on that show. And so out of the 20 people that signed up, I had 15 stay consistent. And out of the 15, I had like 9, I think it was, or 6. I can't remember what it was. It was a good number. So within that 4-week or 6-week cohort, I ended up helping all these individuals that invested all this money, never had any success, start my program and immediately making high ticket sales. So I knew I had something there.
Over 2,800 people have made it into the 2 Comma Club by making at least $1 million in their business. And you get the opportunity to understand exactly how it is that they have done it on an individual by individual basis through this podcast. If you're interested in learning more about the tidbits and advice that they have, then you should consider subscribing to the 2 Comma Club newsletter, where you'll get daily updates and advice on the podcast and the things that we are learning from the individuals who have made at least $1 million. Just go to 2ccnewsletter.com or click the link in the description down below and subscribe.